Hi, welcome to part 3. I hope you found the first two videos interesting. Um, I'm sharing a lot of information, I know, and it is some of it quite astounding probably to some people who aren't aware of what has been going on in our world until this very day. But here we have this motley crew here, and that is what they are. They are puppets, all of them. They do not have an original thought in their head. They follow the dictates of the wealth and privilege, the paths that they were born into, most of them, and have risen through in the structures of this world that favours a certain type of intellect. So, perhaps most of them have very high IQs. And the idea of the IQ test is very commonly accepted as indicating a level of intelligence. But we need to understand that that whole criteria that forms the foundation of an IQ test is actually itself ignorant of the true human intelligence operating within our species. Because it doesn't include measuring levels of compassion, levels of respect, levels of care, levels of conscience. Okay? So, you can have people who can, like parrots, repeat what they've been told, or who can do a maths test or do this or that intellectually, but that's only a part of the intelligence that has been measured. What are their levels of compassion? What are their levels of care? And it is quite clear, isn't it, that most of the highly so-called educated people are actually, as human beings, inferior intelligence, because they have no capability for compassion. They have no sense of righteousness. They will accept the money and shut their mouths. Oh yeah, we've just murdered 100,000 children, but it was worth it. 500,000 Iraqi children dead. It was worth it, says America. And the people are happy with that. They've got to be happy because they're not making much noise about it. Not like the people of Venezuela, not like so many people of the South American countries who risk their very lives to speak out against the inhuman regimes that America has installed over them. And the same for the nations of the Middle East. I mean, look at the state of Libya. But that's all right. America's getting its oil. The world's getting its oil. We don't need to care that what's going on there, that black people are being murdered and people are being sold as slaves. That in Iraq, children are now being beheaded and hung for watching football or playing a rock guitar, listening to some rock music. We don't care. That country's liberated now. It's absolutely abominable, and the hypocrisy that is going on from all these people claiming to be democracies and civilised nations, that they now are taking part in this coup against the democratically elected government of Venezuela and against the wishes of the people who voted for that government. The hypocrisy stinks to high heaven. It really does. And as somebody who has witnessed and received the message and energy of universal golden light intelligence, then I can say in no uncertain terms that every single one of these people who are now seeking to overthrow the socio-capitalist government that has been established in Venezuela, you are working directly against universal law. You are an offence and an abomination before God. That's the fact of it. Okay? Now, I don't know which among you actually believe in God, or most of you probably believe in the effigies and the twisted, malign doctrines of your various faiths. But all that is going because the people of this earth are going to realise that there is one ruling, one creator intelligence in this universe that created everything, and it created us. And it doesn't matter what you want to call that intelligence, whether you want to call it Yahweh or Allah or God. But that intelligence, we are host to it, and certain individuals throughout our history to this very present day are hosts to that golden light intelligence, and they share the intelligence and information, not for a few maligned individuals, the emotionally and consciously and compassionately disabled, okay, to usurp and actually use against people. So a man like Trump, who we know America is the prime instigator of all this stuff that's going on now in trying to rob the Venezuelan people, because that's what it is. We're just looking at a gang gathering together to rob the Venezuelan people. And a lot of the people in Venezuela who are currently supporting this criminal opposition are themselves only doing that because they're suffering sanctions, and they genuinely believe that, well, if we go with America, you know, that life will get a lot better for us. Well, it will not. That I can assure you of. It will not. You know, look at Chile, look at Pinochet, look at every single despot ruler and what happens. Look at the Middle East. This is what will happen to Venezuela. This is the punishment that this consciousness, this criminal cabal, like to inflict on any nation that dares question its capitalist doctrine, that dares question its Luciferian law. You know that we live by Luciferian law, that might equals right to do as what we will. You people, you're not mighty. You haven't got a nuclear bomb. You've not got an army like America's. So you have to do what we want. But no. You see, Jesus explained that right equals might to do as thy will. Are you right? If you are right, then you may operate freely in this world because you are no threat to anybody. You are a respectful, law-abiding, compassionate, conscientious, conscious individual who lives with respect. Because there is freedom in respect. With no respect, any freedom is simply chaos. The only freedom in a world without respect for the law, the true law, intelligent law, is for criminals to commit crimes. And that's exactly what these people here now are all standing up to support. Democracy for Venezuela, apparently. But it isn't democracy for Venezuela, is it? It's to remove and deny democracy for Venezuela. And this is the lie. This is the lie. And that's what they do. That is what they do. They commit crimes and then blame the victims for the very crimes that have been committed against them. Or somehow try to incriminate these people and paint them out to be the criminal. You know, that is exactly what they do. That's exactly what Donald Trump does. He constantly spews out fake news and then accuses anybody who says any of the media that pulls him up on and starts sharing the truth, oh, they're fake news. That's exactly what is going on. Freedom, apparently, according to somebody like Trump, is having the ability to, yeah, just shoot anybody, you know, shoot Mexican children, gas them, tear gas them, bomb them if you want, because they trying to come through our borders as illegal immigrants. They're all drug dealers and rapists. Never mind the drug dealers and rapists in his own country that are actually running his country. You know, the kind of people who did 9/11. Again, check it out, people. How a nation of people could live with that horror inflicted by parties within their own ruling authorities of their military and government and intelligence. I'm sorry, how could you do it when you've got a constitution that gives you arms directly for the purpose of removing such a force of tyranny that is discovered to be ruling? And certainly, America, 9/11 was an inside job committed by the global criminal cabal and its cohorts now running America. And that not only chose Trump, but placed him on the podium, employed intelligence agencies to peddle his filth and to persuade people to vote for him, actually denied millions of Americans, unlawfully denied their votes, disenfranchised by cross-check and various other manipulations and mechanisms to make sure that the majority of the people do not have their say, and that it is a minority that elects the president, and a confused and disinformed minority at that. So America stands at the moment, according to its leadership, as an evil criminal nation. That is the judgment of God, okay? Because that is the only judgment one can arrive at when you consider Jah law, universal intelligence, with compassion as its head cornerstone, right? That is the only judgment that can be delivered. Well, sorry, no, you're operating evilly, criminally. That is what the devil is, a criminal. Okay? Remove the title devil or Satan, replace it with criminal, because that's what devils do. They commit crimes, they hurt life. That is what they do. So, America, according to Jah law, and actually its own judgments against the people of this planet, it's evil. Because it's operating without care, compassion, respect. It's robbing people of dignity, and is founded on a totally imbalanced and actually unlawful financial system that's based on what? Usury. Usury. Usury includes slavery. Usury includes paying workers less than a living wage and actually robbing them of time that their children need them to spend with. Okay? You see, when you start getting into intelligence, when you start getting into the realms of, i.e., God, inverted commas, true intelligence, that is when you start to understand exactly how criminal is this world. And, you know, God doesn't judge people. Everybody shall judge themselves according to the light of truth, the light of reality, the fair, the kind understanding of reality that takes everything into account. And that is what these people do not do. They do not take everything into account. They only take into account their own needs, what's being demanded of them, what they've got to do in order to keep their positions in this present world. And many of them are coerced, threatened even. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but we can make a fairly accurate guess, can't we? When we look at the criminal powers in charge presently ruling our planet. Now, when it comes to substances like oil, we've got people concerned about climate change, and they're saying, you know, we need to get rid of fossil fuels. Well, yes, we do need to stop using fossil fuels, but that is going to have to take place over the course of perhaps 20 or 30 years. Because, you know, there are nations like Venezuela, like Saudi Arabia, who who are dependent on the revenue from their oil. So how are they going to live? This is what I mean about intelligence taking everything into account. So no, we can't just immediately stop using fossil fuels. These societies need time to be able to re-establish and to develop the new technology. So, when it comes to that, every society can have an abundance of everything they need from hemp. It provides everything: clothing, building materials, food, you name it. Beauty products, whatever, animal feed, fertilizer, all from hemp. We can do it. It's also eco-friendly industry to create all these things as well. No more need chopping trees down for paper. No more harsh bleaching chemicals for paper that comes out naturally a creamy colour from hemp. You see? There's no need for this thrift and poverty that's happening on our planet right now. There is absolutely no need for it. It is a sustained, created thing. There's no need for us to be dependent on oil. But like I said, these other nations that are dependent on oil need time. Now, if the people now worried about climate change and they really do wish to halt the progression of climate change, then you're going to have to go vegan. That's the way it is. You're going to have to go vegan. Because the methane from the billions upon billions of livestock that we are raising on our planet right now in order to feed all these carnivorous humans, when actually, look at the human body. Our intestine is not designed to process meat. It's rotting by the time it's got to the... by the time it is ready to be evacuated from the body. Okay? It is rotting. Our intestines are not designed to eat meat. Doesn't mean we can't eat meat, but we certainly shouldn't on any level be eating as much of it. I mean, Prophet Muhammad ate meat once a month. Okay? And these creatures, these livestock that we're raising, are living terrible lives. They're being tortured, they suffer cruel, horrible, terrifying deaths. And that's what we're feeding our children. But you see, all that livestock creates methane, and methane is 100 times more powerful as a warming CO2 effect than regular CO2 created from burning fossil fuels. That's a fact. The fact is that if, say, for example, every American citizen right now, overnight, cut their meat and dairy intake by half, it would be equivalent of garaging every fossil fuel burning road vehicle in America. That's the fact of it. That's just by half. But we need to do more than that. We need to go completely vegan. We need to end this huge, disgusting levels of industrial farming and fishing and what's been going on on our planet. Absolutely abominable. We need to end that. And if we want to save our planet, then you're going to have to give up your meat and your dairy. Simple as. That's how it is. That methane that's created from all this animal farming that's been going on is, like I say, in the first year, 100 times more powerful than CO2. And then for the next 2 years, it's 70 times more powerful. And like Jesus said, To those who have more, more shall be forgiven, and to those who have not, less, even that which they have shall be taken away. Well, that's exactly how it is going to work with the methane. Because the more methane we produce, the more methane our planet shall release into our atmosphere. And the less oxygen we have, then even eventually we will have no oxygen to breathe. That's how it works. And we will have a runaway global warming that we will never be able to reverse. We will have passed the point of no return. We've got at most, really, 10 years. So if you care about your planet and you care about the future, you will stop eating meat and dairy today. Right? Never mind holding your placards up about we want to ban coal and we want to ban oil. Look at what's on your plate. Look what's in your shopping basket. As I say, people are going to need to get real, and I am speaking from universal golden light intelligence. I'm not a prophet. I have never, in the 27 years since I've had that experience, never once tried to use it to big myself up or to say I'm better or more special than anybody else. But believe you me, I'm not going to stand here and watch my very planet destroyed, and now, finally, what's blatantly going on, this grand theft auto going on with Venezuela. No, sorry, the hypocrisy, like I say, it stinks to high heaven, and the spirit has moved me to speak out. And maybe now is the time that people will actually listen to what I am sharing. Because I've survived through a life that most people could not even imagine, my childhood life. It was literally like growing up in a concentration camp. I wasn't allowed out. I was out. I just can't even describe it. It was horror. And that, apparently, in a civilised country like Britain. But, you know, I didn't become an abuser myself. Instead, I tried to understand why. And it was in trying to understand why that directly through that I witnessed the event of universal golden light being and received that message. So I'm hoping now, in this darkest hour, that out of that darkness shall shine the light that revealed itself to me, the light that I'm sharing with people now in order to empower people and give them strength, the same light that Jesus shared, that Prophet Muhammad shared. You know, Prophet Muhammad, everybody's talking about, oh, he had so many wives and blah, blah, blah. Oh, he got married to a child. You know, you don't know the story. You know nothing. Okay? The fact is that Prophet Muhammad's wives were warriors and leaders, and they rode out into battle with him against the people that were coming to kill them. Why? Why was he so unpopular with the leaders, the rulers, throughout the Middle East? Yeah, because he liberated water. He created a religion that serves the people. Because he knew he wasn't going to defeat the religion. So he had to recreate one that would at least make sure that women and children were cared for and grew up within a family atmosphere, that at least the people had free and easy access to water 5 times a day. Oh yeah. You see, prior to Prophet Muhammad, the water supplies were all heavily controlled. They were privatised. Prophet Muhammad liberated the water. Every city, town, Muslim city, town had to have water in its mosque because everybody had to wash 5 times a day. Water had to be freely available for people because otherwise they couldn't pray. It wasn't gold that people needed to pray to God. It was water. Imagine how brilliant and amazing that man was all that time ago. Yes, because people don't understand. Arrogant fools breeding arrogant fools, judgmental, arrogant fools. And that's what is standing against the people of Venezuela today. Arrogant, ignorant fools who do want to deny the people's democratic choice. This man, self-elected president. You know, what? Well, you know what? The universe chose me. The universe and intelligence chose me. Have I announced myself God or a president? No, but I am explaining now that I am a true guide for humanity. I am a true guide, and these people are on a road to hell because they are standing in ignorance of universal law. They're standing with the oppressor. They wish to deny the intelligence and balance of socio-capitalism, and they want to go totally with capitalism that will deliver to that nation corporate communism. That is what is being inflicted on the populations. It's socialism for the top 1%, and it's corporate communism for the rest of us. Now, are we going to have socio-capitalism where individual businesses, family businesses are encouraged and thrive? Or are there going to be no independently owned businesses? And it's all going to be corporations, and the rich people will all pour their money into the corporations and get their dividends from their stocks and shares on that criminal market system that is the stock exchange. Basically a casino. That's what they do. You know, that is the fate of millions is falling on the revolution of a roulette wheel and what number the little white ball falls into. That is just how could an intelligent species choose that over true intelligence and guidance? How could they? Well, they can, because you know there's money. Money buys things. Money gives you power. Money gives you the might, and therefore you're right. And that's why these people call themselves right wing, when actually they're just wrong. Because a truly right wing, a truly right hand, is not at war with its left hand. So they're just wrong. You know, true capitalism is within the context of socialism. And, you know, Britain had that. After the Second World War, that is what people established in Britain. We lived in a socio-capitalist society. It's gone now. Thatcher decimated it, and from there it's just, we've got crumbs of it left, mere shreds of it left. You know, people are queuing up outside food banks. Nurses are dependent on food banks. Is that a socialism that's delivered that? No. It's corporate capitalism. But exactly what Chavez was trying to establish in Venezuela is exactly what the people of Britain had established after the Second World War here. A socio-capitalist society with nationally owned industries, nationally run services, social care, social housing, and NHS, universal healthcare. But then on the other hand, there's private businesses, private industries, private health care for people, private housing, alongside the social housing. There was no battle between them, except the capitalist side wanted more and more and more and more. They yearned to go back to the days of Victorian Britain, when 80% of the population lived in varying degrees of poverty and only 20% in varying degrees of wealth, with the top 1% living in avid luxury. That is what Margaret Thatcher stated she wanted to return back to. She was going to take Britain back to Victorian Britain. How did people take it? And that is exactly what is going to happen now to Venezuela. They are to be dumped back into that Victorian antiquated consciousness, because it is an antiquated consciousness. And so now I hope that people understand, that they accept that what I'm sharing is from Universal Golden Light Being. I've left my supernatural or not yet video. Spare some time and listen. If you can listen to the claptrap rubbish from these intellectually disabled, intellectually, empathically and compassionately disabled people, please spare some time to listen to me, who's survives with PTSD, who had to go for hypnotherapy just to be able to speak, to be able to say my name without stammering. Okay, I ask you to please listen to me and share this message and spread it. Spread the good news. Okay, God is real. God is a reality. Our souls are a reality. We do have a quantum energy golden light being body that does not perish with the physical body. We are designed to live by universal law, provided as a beneficence to life, to humanity, by the very intelligence that created us. And if we do not live by that intelligence, then, and that law, then yes, you shall have Cerinthes' revelations to the full. And the good people of earth who have tried their best to deny the right of that revelation to be fulfilled, who have tried their best to save our planet and to stand up for our universal human rights and the rights of a child, not to be judged as a minor, unimportant human being, but to be a VIP. Those people, those souls, there will always be a place of life and plenty and love in this universe for those people. Okay? But we will do our best. We will show courage and strength and stand up for our rights. We will know that when we leave this earth, we will be sure in our own conscience that we have done everything, we did everything in our power to halt the progress of this evil insanity that is destroying our planet, that we did everything in our power for the future of the human child, of the life of our planet. We will know that. And these people who stood against us, because you know, it's not standing up against that we need to do. We do need to stand up for our rights. You can't fight against these people. We stand up for our rights and we defend ourselves from direct attack when we are forced to. But these people who have stood against us, there's nowhere for them. There's no room for them in life. Their consciousness, their spirit, soul is condemned to the eternal void, not by God, but by themselves, by their own choices and ignorance and refusal to accept universal reality and the law that was granted to us by the beneficence of that universe, because the universe loves life. These people do not love life. They love money. They love the excrement of the gods, gold. That is what they love. So, as I say, this video, it has slightly gone over. I will make another couple of videos to share some more enlightenment for people. One about Germany and another one about some of the scriptures in the original Testament, you know, as far as the tatters of what's left of them are concerned, and I will share some further enlightenment. And I feel at the moment, right now, there's hope. There's hope that we can change, that we can turn this world around and actually deliver ourselves into our universal human being. You know, that is what's going to happen, because that's our planet is giving birth to a human man. Okay, man, both male and female. That is what our planet is going through now. The throes of birth. There's been a lot of bloodshed, but now we need to deliver that baby, and that baby is not going to be born unless it turns around. Okay, the baby has to turn around, otherwise it's going to be a breech birth, and we have no other planet. There is no surrogate mother can look after that child. If the planet dies in the process of giving birth, then that's it. You know, birth is always a time of peril. We need to understand that. We need to start loving each other. That's where it starts, at home. Start with your forgiveness, start with your love at home, in your communities. Get active, address the issues, and be sure who you are and what you're about and where you're coming from. And I'm here to tell you, you are coming directly from the universal golden light, quantum energy that created you, and you will be returning to that in as much as you have lived and thrived within that in your life on this planet. So, huge thanks for taking time to listen, and love and God bless to everybody. And I hope that the people of Venezuela unite for your rights to be an independent nation that benefits fully of your own resources, and that you do not get conned into allowing yourselves to be vamped off by vampires, criminal vampires. That is what they actually are, these corporate capitalists. Okay, and no matter what gains, immediate gains you achieve, they are nothing compared to what this consciousness will be robbing you of as a people, as a nation. So, and as I say again, to all the Western powers, the powers of this world, who are standing against the democratic choice of the Venezuelan people, then I'm sorry, you all have condemned yourselves, and you are committing a crime before God, and that's the truth of it. You are standing in total ignorance of God's law, and in fact, you've been living and thriving on that total ignorance for centuries, to such a degree that it's actually normal to you people now. Well, I'm here to explain it's very, very, very far from normal according to universal intelligence. So, love. And yes, God bless to everybody.